Thank you, Susan. So my name is Natalia, and I'm a student in neuroscience, and I've been studying animal behavior in one way or the other for over 10 years. And the reason why I think it's animal behavior is something that is important to all of us is that it surrounds us. It's the animals we live with, it influences our economy, and it's the people we interact with daily. So when I first started this, I was fascinated. We have all of these behaviors, and they're all mediated by only a few or maybe many cells, but they're all the same cells, and they kind of connect, forming different types of nervous systems. But in the end, when you look at animals, they all can do so many different things. And I think we've all observed this. As people have dogs or cats, raise your hands. We all do. So when you look at your dog or your cat and he's running around chasing their own tail, a behavior that we don't tend to have, but that is extremely intrinsic to those species. I think, how many times have you wondered why? Why are they doing it? What's going through their heads when they're doing that behavior? If you've asked those questions, you really have already started doing animal behavior research. And humans have been doing this for as far as we know. If you look into the paintings in Paleolithic caves, the paintings are paintings of animals. We've been observing animals and trying to understand them for as far as we have actually been observing the world. So, and why is this important? Historically, if you think about it, you wanted to eat and you wanted to avoid being eaten. Therefore, you had to look at animal behavior and understand safe places and what to do. From a perspective of a more contemporary, we are, at least a lot of us are concerned with conservation. In order to actually develop good environments where animals can survive and thrive, we need to understand their behaviors and their needs. There's also just curiosity. We like to know more about the world. And through these studies of behavior, we have found things that are so kind of like not intuitive, as the fact that bees communicate with each other by dancing when they come back from foraging. Studies at the beginning of the century by von Fritz, the previous century, by von Fritz, show that depending on how they dance and the speed, they're telling each other how far away the food is and at what angle. Then there's been experiments in other, like in dolphins, where now we have a sense that they can actually identify their own body and they have self-awareness. And we have other animals that can actually see the world in UV light, and animals that can perceive echolocation. So through our studies of animals, we really have learned that we live in only one of the many possible worlds that are here present with us all the time. So with this course, what I'm hoping we're going to do is we're going to go through an overview of animal behavior. We're going to look into learning, memory, mating strategies, which are not that dissimilar from ours. We're going to look at communication, how animals communicate, the function of it. We're also going to look a little bit more into how animals navigate in space, how they localize things, and then get into the topics of animal intelligence, something that 50 years ago in scientific research would have been almost impossible to ask without having people laughing at you. Now we are in a point where we can ask scientific questions as to, do animals feel emotions? Are they aware of themselves? There are scientific studies showing that mice show empathy to each other. There are studies showing that monkeys also show empathy to each other. So it's really an exciting time to look at animal behavior, because we've gotten to the point that we have tools to ask these questions that we've all been carrying with ourselves. I don't think we're going to be able to answer, at least not in the class, why the animals chase their own tails. I'd love to, but we don't have that information, but there's a lot of things that I hope we're going to be able to cover. So I really think it's going to be a fun class, and I hope you'll join me. We'll be looking at both things in a general manner and very specific examples of some of these fascinating creatures that we share the world with.